I found out my parents left everything to my brother, the house, the land, the savings, and they never even planned to tell me. That was the day I stopped answering their calls. Some time ago I found out that my parents rewrote their will and left everything to my brother. Not a portion, not a split. Everything. The house I helped pay off. The land I helped maintain. The accounts I contributed to every single year when things got tight. All of it. To him. And the worst part is, I did not find out because they told me. I found out because my mom asked me to help her with some printer issue in the home office. She left me alone for 5 minutes. I clicked through a few folders looking for the document she needed. That is when I saw it. The folder was titled Estate Drafts. I opened the most recent one. My name was not mentioned once. Not in the assets. Not in the instructions. Not even as an alternate contact. Just one name over and over again. My brother's. At first I thought it was a draft. A mistake. But there were 4 versions. All of them the same. Signed. Notarized. Dated over 6 months ago. I closed the folder. Finished printing what she asked for. Walked back into the kitchen and handed her the pages. I said nothing. Not then. Not yet. I just sat at the table and watched her stir soup like she was not slowly disappearing from my life in real time. Let me give you some context. I am the older sibling. I have always been the responsible one. I paid for my own education. I started working at 16, I moved out at 20, and never asked for a dime after that. When Dad got sick, I came back every weekend. When the roof needed replacing, I paid the contractor myself. When Mom's car broke down, I took out a loan to get her a new one because she said the dealership would not finance someone her age. I did not think twice, I just signed. My brother is 4 years younger. He still lives at home. He is 31, has never held a job longer than 6 months, has 2 kids by 2 different women, and pays child support for neither. He smokes weed in the garage, plays video games until 3 a.m., and treats my parents like his personal chefs. They say he is just figuring things out. That the world is different now. That not everyone has to move at the same pace. They say I have always been so strong. That he needs more help, more time, more love. What he needs is to grow up. But they cannot see that. Or maybe they just do not want to. Over the years I stopped trying to prove anything. I just showed up. Quietly, consistently. Every holiday I brought food. Every crisis I dropped everything. I was the one who talked to the insurance companies, filed the paperwork, handled the bank. When the mortgage got flagged for fraud, my brother was nowhere. Always had a reason. Too busy. Too tired. Too anxious. They never blamed him. They thanked me. Every time. And I believed them. I believed that being steady and dependable meant something. That it was love, just in a different language. But it was not. It was convenience. I was a utility. A backup. An extra battery pack for the people who gave me life and then handed it all to someone who barely showed up. That night, after I found the will, I drove home and sat in my car for an hour before going inside. I did not cry. I did not rage. I just felt erased. Like all those years of effort were written in pencil, and someone finally found the eraser. I tried to make excuses for them. Maybe it was a temporary change. Maybe they planned to talk to me soon. Maybe it was some legal technicality. But the date said otherwise, 6 months ago. That means every phone call since then, every dinner, every "we are so proud of you" was a lie. They had already made their decision, they just never planned to tell me. And honestly, if my mom had not asked me to fix the printer, I probably never would have known until the funeral. And I would have stood there like a fool, giving a speech about love and legacy while my brother signed papers to take everything I thought I was part of. The next day she called me to thank me for coming by, said it was always so helpful when I visited, said I was such a good son. I told her I was busy with work and might not be able to come by for a while. She said that was okay. That my brother had been stepping up lately. I almost laughed. Stepping up how? By waking up before noon. By taking out the trash. By finally pretending to care. I said nothing. Just told her to take care. Hung up. Sat in silence. And that was the moment I decided I was done being useful to people who only notice me when something breaks. After that call, I stopped going over. No big announcement. No dramatic exit. Just silence. I ignored the usual weekend texts asking if I was free to swing by and look at the water heater, or help move boxes from the attic. I stopped picking up the phone when my dad called to ask how the job was going, which was always code for, "Are you doing well enough to help us with something again?" I stopped offering, I stopped filling in the blanks. At first they did not notice. Or maybe they noticed but assumed it was temporary. That I was just busy. Or tired. Or being sensitive. A few weeks went by. Then my mom texted and said she missed me. That dinner was not the same without me. That my brother had tried to make lasagna and nearly burned the kitchen down. She added a crying laughing emoji like it was charming. Like it was all a sitcom and not real life. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then put the phone down and did not respond. 2 days later my dad left me a voicemail. Said he hoped I was okay. That they had not heard from me. That he would really appreciate my help getting the mower fixed because the yard was looking like Tejas in August. That was his way of joking. That the grass was long. That he needed me again. I deleted the voicemail. That weekend, they showed up at my apartment. I should have expected it. I lived 20 minutes from them. I saw their car pull up and just sat on the couch, waiting. There was a knock. Not aggressive, just familiar. Like it had always been their right to knock on my door and expect an answer. I opened it. My mom smiled like nothing was wrong. She said they were in the area and thought they would check in. My dad said I looked tired. That I could probably use a good meal. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. No invitation. Just air. I asked what they needed. My mom said they missed me, that the family needed to stay close, that things were hard right now and they could use my help. I asked if this was about the will. Her face changed, just for a second, like a flicker in the corner of a screen. Then she said, "You should not have looked through our files." My dad added, "It was not final. We were still deciding." I asked, "Still deciding 6 months later?" Silence. My mom said, "Your brother is not as strong as you. He needs the support more. You are stable. You will be fine." I said, "You mean I am useful? You mean I am predictable? You mean I do not cause problems, so you thought I would just accept being erased?" My dad said, "It is not like that." But it was exactly like that. My mom said, "We love you. You know that." I said, "No, you love what I do for you. You love the version of me that keeps this family functional. You do not love the real me. Because if you did, you would never have made that choice." She tried to reach for my hand. I stepped back. Said, "I am not angry, I am done. There is a difference." My dad asked, "So that is it? You are cutting us off?" I said, "I am putting the weight back where it belongs." My mom said, "You will regret this. Family is everything." I said, "Then maybe you should have protected it." They stood there for a moment like they did not understand what I was saying. Then walked back to the car. My mom looked back once before getting in. I did not wave. I just waited for the engine to fade. Closed the door. Locked it. Exhaled. For the first time in years, the silence in my apartment did not feel lonely. It felt earned. A week after they came to my door, I got a message from my brother. First one in months. It said, "Mom and Dad are worried. You being petty now?" No greeting. No context. Just that. I stared at it and didn't reply. 2 hours later, he followed up with, "So you're gonna ghost your whole family over paperwork?" I didn't answer. The next day, a third message came. "They're not doing great, man. Dad's back pain is acting up again, and Mom's stressing about bills. Could use a hand with groceries this week." I typed, then deleted, then typed again. Then I just wrote, "Ask them." He responded instantly. "You serious?" I said, "You live there. You eat their food. You sleep under their roof. Maybe it's your turn." He left me on read. 3 days of silence. Then a wall of text. He called me selfish. Said I was turning my back on people who raised me. Said he did not ask to be the favorite. That it was not his fault they saw him as someone who needed more. That I always had everything figured out. That I never shared my struggles. That maybe if I had talked more, they would have helped me too. I almost laughed. Helped me how? By handing me a bigger shovel every time the hole got deeper? I replied with one sentence. "You're not entitled to everything just because I never complained." He did not answer. But the next day my mom texted. Said she was sorry for how things turned out. That she just wanted peace in the family. That they were thinking of changing the will again. I said, "You can leave the entire planet to him. I am not coming back." She said I was being cold. That I was not acting like myself. I told her, "This is the version of me you built. The one who finally learned that being loyal to people who only take is not love. It is self-harm." After that, the tone changed. My dad called twice and left messages that sounded more like lectures than concern. Told me I needed to grow up. Said life is not fair. Said sometimes we make sacrifices without needing credit. I never asked for credit. I asked for respect. And what they gave me was silence in their will and a front row seat to my own replacement. Then came the final straw. A mutual cousin messaged me and asked if I was okay. I said yes. She said she had seen something weird on Facebook. My mom had made a post. Something about how some people forget where they come from once they have a stable job in an apartment with granite countertops. She did not name me. But it was obvious. The comment section was full of vague sympathy. "You raised them right, they just got cold. He'll come around. You're such strong parents." I wanted to reply. I wanted to type everything. The will. The silence. The guilt. The years. But I didn't. I just shared the post to my own page with one sentence. If you spend your whole life carrying a family, do not be surprised when they blame you for walking away. Then I logged off. Turned off my phone. Made dinner. Played music. And for the first time in years, ate a full meal without checking if someone else needed a piece first. Because I was finally feeding myself first. not out of spite, but because I was hungry too. And nobody ever asked what I needed. So I stopped waiting for them to ask. A month after I shared that post, I got a letter in the mail. Actual paper. No return address. But I recognized the handwriting. My mom's. Inside was a single page. It said they had updated the will. That my name was back in it. That they had realized how much I had done and how much they had taken for granted. That they missed me. That they hoped I would come to dinner next Sunday. No apology. Just a reset button. Like putting me back in the paperwork erased everything before it. Like I was supposed to smile and pretend they had not made it clear how little they valued me until the loss became uncomfortable. I folded the letter once, slid it into the drawer where I keep spare keys and expired coupons. Did not respond. Sunday came and went. No calls. Just another passive attempt to pretend everything was fine. The next weekend, my brother messaged again. Said mom was crying. Said dad was drinking more. Said I was punishing them. I wrote back one line. If silence feels like punishment, maybe that is because my presence was doing more than you ever saw. No reply. I did not need one. I went for a long walk that night. No headphones. No distractions. Just the sound of my own breath and the crunch of gravel under my shoes. It felt like coming home to myself. Like I had lived so long for other people that I had forgotten I was allowed to exist for my own sake. When I got back, I sat on the porch and watched the street. The same neighborhood I helped my parents afford. The same one I now lived in alone. And for once, that aloneness did not sting. It steadied me. People talk about forgiveness like it is the only way forward. That if you do not open the door again, you are bitter. That if you do not hug the people who hurt you, you are broken. I disagree. Forgiveness is not a return. It is a release. And I had released them. Not with hate. Not with rage. Just with the quiet clarity that comes from realizing your worth does not depend on who benefits from it. I do not know what will happen years from now. Maybe they will call. Maybe they will not. Maybe one day there will be funerals. And I will show up, not as a son trying to belong, but as a man who already said goodbye a long time ago. A man who stopped setting himself on fire just to keep other people warm. Because that is what they do not tell you about family. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is leave the table when love is no longer being served. And never come back.